Yo, what up my cheese army? How y'all doing? It's Cheese Monster bringing you back with another review. Let's go. So, Bad Neighbors Sorority Rising stars Zac Efron, Seth Rogen, and Chloe Grace Moretz in a comedy about Seth Rogen who's trying to get rid of this sorority who has moved in because they have to sell their house because they bought another house, and if they don't in this 30-day period they will lose their house, and if anything goes wrong they are screwed and definitely have 2 mortgages and lose both of their houses. This is the basic premise, and you see this in the trailer, so I'm not really spoiling anything. So the good and the bad. First of all, we got the good. This is the returning team. So we got Zac Efron and Seth Rogen. Zac Efron nails this movie. He's the Disney star that we all thought would never do well, because all Disney stars haven't done well. Besides, I think Zac Efron. Probably he's the only exceptional character, because he's funny, he's ripped, he has dramatic significance in this movie. His arc in this movie still continues and springboards off this movie. He's a burnout. He doesn't have a life. He's still living the party life, and all his friends moved on, which is a great idea and a great story arc for this character. I thought that they played it well in this movie, and he is so funny and hilarious in this movie that I thought sometimes when he said jokes I was dying out laughing. Now we have Seth Rogen. Seth Rogen is still a great actor. I think he's a great comic actor, or a person who does a lot of comedy, but of course he plays the same character in every single movie, so I think that this is not new, but still, if you like Bad Neighbors, he's still the same character, so you're going to enjoy him here. And Chloe Grace Moretz still does a great job as the sorority leader, but I feel like they lost that just a bit touch, because when Zac Efron went out, he went all out. Chloe Grace Moretz, they took their time, they planned out stuff, and it was great, and her jokes were fine. It's just that I felt like her arc was just a bit down, but they played it well much for me to enjoy it. And the story is basic. It's a premise that we all seen in Bad Neighbors, and it's just trying to up its level. And I think that's the bad here. The bad here is that it suffers from sequelitis. Sequelitis, if you guys don't know, it's just what I made up right now. It's what comedies always, or most of the time, suffer from. There's this great comedy that comes out, the first movie, and everyone loves it, and then the second movie drops because they try to make it bigger, but really all the plot holes and everything is seen, and the comedy has drained out because you already seen them before, and this movie suffers from that just a bit. For example, 21 Jump Street was an amazing movie, and then 22 Jump Street came out, and I was like, yeah, the jokes were funny, but not as good as 21 Jump Street, because the jokes are basically almost the same. Same thing here. And if you guys love Bad Neighbors, you should check this movie out. I think this movie has a lot of comedy in it, just not as in the level of Bad Neighbors. Bad Neighbors Sorority Rising is just trying to make that level like, oh, it's going up. But really, sometimes I felt like it was dragging just a bit. Sometimes it was slow pacing, and most of the time the jokes do land. It's just that sometimes there'd be that one odd joke, and then everyone pauses and it's like, yeah, I'm continuing the scene, so just hurry it up. But besides that, I thought that Bad Neighbors Sorority Rising was a good movie. I thought you wouldn't waste your money seeing it, but I feel like there's no necessity to see it. I think if you were to rent it out one day, or buy the DVD, or maybe stream it on your Netflix, if it comes out on Netflix, then watch it then. But if you really want a comedy, because there's not a lot of comedies out right now, Bad Neighbors is your go-to, because it is hilarious and funny. Anyway guys, final verdict, I think that this movie has a lot of points that Bad Neighbors had, just that it suffers from sequelitis, where it does the same things over again, which you expect, and the comedy just sometimes dials down, and the pacing is a bit off. Besides those points, and if you can sit back and relax this movie, because that's what you could do in this type of movie, then yeah, you'll enjoy this movie. Overall verdict, I give this a 3.5 out of 5. This movie is, of course, an average movie for me. I think that this movie, if they just upped the jokes a little bit, it would have made it the best comedy ever, like Bad Neighbors. But you know what, it's still a great movie, and I still recommend you guys check it out. So if you guys had a bad neighbor to deal with, leave that in the comments below and like this video. Thank you guys. Cheese Monster out.